Hello guys, welcome back to my channel Engineer Junction. In this video, we are going to covering the fourth unit second part. So Python programming with Raspberry Pi with focus of interfacing external gadgets. So in previous video we discussed what is Raspberry Pi and what is Raspberry Pi and what in Raspberry Pi what are the different types of ports and all we discussed, and in different series implementation of Raspberry Pi in different ways we discussed. So in this video we are going to discuss about Python programming with Raspberry Pi with focus of interfacing external gadgets. See here, external gadgets is nothing but the physical devices. Okay, physical devices we discussed, right? What are those? LED, resistor on off, these all will come under the external gadgets. So some LED and moisture test gadget one there, moisture checks. Okay, the gadgets will check the moisture of soil and all. So these are nothing but the external gadgets. And here we have one more thing is pull up or push down resistors. So by using Raspberry Pi we can pull up and pull down the resistors. Okay, these all are we'll discuss. So but in the form of programming, so we are using Python programming in order to get communicate with the Raspberry Pi in IoT devices. Okay, a Python program for interfacing external gadgets with Raspberry Pi use the general purpose of input output interfaces. GPIO is nothing but general purpose of input output. So for input and for output we are using Python programming. Okay, this GPIO allows you to connect your Raspberry Pi to the outside of the world. So GPI will allow the Raspberry Pi to connect outside of the world, means external gadgets like LED, moisture check, resistors and all. So many gadgets are there, right? So fan and all we discussed in previous video. Those are all applications we can use by GPIO, general purpose input output. Okay, what are the steps to run a Raspberry Pi? So before going to know about the steps involved in Raspberry Pi, we have to download, if we want to execute some codings by using Python in Raspberry Pi in IoT, we have to apply download some operating system for different for Mac OS and what we can say Android and ISO. Okay, these both are different and we have to download those from Google and we have to download the Raspberry Pi is application is there. Okay, you have to download from Google. Okay, next, configure your Raspberry Pi. That is nothing but the installation of Raspberry Pi. Okay, first we have to download the Raspberry Pi through the Google. First you have to do the step, and after that it Raspberry Pi is nothing but looking like a grapes type. What we can say, grapes type of logo is present for Raspberry Pi in the color of pink color, and in that we have to enter some details of our network, and we have to download some applications on mobile which the internet is sharing. Okay, through that internet only we are connecting, right? So this is the interface of downloading. After downloading the Raspberry Pi, if you want to run any type of IoT devices, you must and should download those, then only we can interact or we can perform operations on it. Okay, this is the interface of Raspberry Pi. It is looking like a strawberry only. Okay, Raspberry Pi. Okay, next, install pip. If you want any libraries in Python, we have libraries, right? So if we want any libraries by using for using the Raspberry Pi implementations with external gadgets, we need some libraries like NumPy, Pandas and all. So there are so many libraries are there. By using pip we have to we install so many libraries there directly. Okay, pip install some library name, like for example NumPy, then automatically it will install and directly it will access. Okay, that is the next step of Python programming with Raspberry Pi. Okay, next, use Python 3. Python 3 is nothing but a version. You have to download, before going to downloading the Raspberry Pi, you have to know what is the version of Python 3.11 and all there. Okay, so you have to download that from Google. It is a free source. Okay, next, connect your Raspberry Pi to the external gadget by using some wires. I told you in previous video, right? There are so different types of colors in Raspberry Pi wires. To connect those, we have one port is there for connecting to the Raspberry Pi. Okay, next, connecting to the Raspberry Pi, we have some port is there. Through that we can for example, here is a Raspberry Pi. Here I told in previous video what is the structure. Here we have dots, right? So here external gadget, by using some connection wires, we are connecting to this port, so that it can, there are some significance is there. So where should we connect from external gadget to this specific Raspberry Pi, and how we can operate along with this, all are present in the Raspberry Pi installation process. Okay, next, connect your Raspberry Pi to the external gadget. We connected, and use the GPIO numbers in your code. So GPIO is nothing but it is a type of whatever we can say, locations we can say. Okay, GPIO, there are some numbers are there, different types of numbers for different types of operating systems or different types of devices. Okay, for each and every external gadget we have different types of passwords and GPIO numbers. Based on those only we have to enter. In order to execute any operations or to run any external gadget, we have some what we can say, number and username. For example, number is nothing but username and password is there. So after installation of these all process, you have to enter this. Number is nothing but GPIO number. I told you, right? We have to install some applications in mobile also. So in that mobile we have some server numbers are there, like 116.332 point something there. Okay, this number we have to keep in GPIO number in our code. So this is nothing but the GPIO code. Okay, it is a server code, this code, and we have to enter some password of our respected computer or whatever laptop. So after entering these two details, if anything error came, then it is going to recheck, and again you have to enter some respected correct values. Please listen here, because this is the installation process. Okay, it's installation process of Raspberry Pi. So don't skip the video. Why? Because here you have to know how the process of installation. Okay, here we in mobile we have some server nets, and after that server number and password of our current laptop or computer, that both you have to enter in our code in specific area. There is a big code, there is a lot of code. In that we have to give some numbers and password, so that it can authentication, and it will give the permission to ours. This is the whole process of how to install and how to run the program in the external gadgets with Raspberry Pi. Okay, this is how the process of Raspberry Pi is done. Next, examples: pull up or pull down resistors. We have to pull up and we have to pull down. There are two cases in resistors, like for example, LED is not LED, we can off and we can on by using Raspberry Pi sensor networks. Okay, so how this I told you, right, GPIO, how the GPIO numbers and what is the GPIO basics we will discuss here. Okay, see, GPIO basics is, first we have to import RSP is nothing but Raspberry Pi dot GPIO library. Okay, in order to install that library, we have to use pip. First pip install we have to use. I already told in previous just before. Pip install we have to use, and we have to install that library, and after that import. We are importing that gpio library to the our corresponding code. Okay, import raspberrypi.gpio as gpio. Instead of calling this raspberrypi.gpio, we can easily call as gpio. Okay, it is easy for calling every time. Okay, we are using every time, in everywhere we are using gpio, right? So in order to call raspberrypi.gpio, we can shortly call as gpio. It is nothing but a alias. Okay, next, set the gpio pin number mode. Pin number modes are two types. Okay, bcm or board. What is bcm, what is board, we will discuss. Okay, see here, gpio dot set mode. Okay, this is set mode of gpio dot bcm. Okay, this is nothing but the gpio numbering of this bcm mode. What is bcm mode? bcm mode is nothing but a broadcom socket channel numbers. Okay, I told you, right, already in just before that we have some gpio numbers, right? This is based on two types, bcm and board. Okay, these are two different types. We are using bcm here. Okay, what is bcm means? It is a channel number. In mobile we have to install some application, right? I told you. So in that we have some numbers, that is nothing but the channel number of bcm. Okay, next, board uses physical pin number on the raspberry pi. This is what the chip there, right? Raspberry pi chip there. So on that, some we are using some physical pin number is there. Okay, that is nothing but the board. It is also a number. Okay, next, pi board. Next, set gpio dot mod to the bcm. So we are setting, and what we can say, set, get, post, these all are the different operations. Okay, set, what we are setting gpio mode to the bcm. Okay, gpio mode is nothing but a gpio number is set to the bcm, that is nothing but the number. Okay, next, how we can set the mode? gpio dot set mode of gpio dot bcm. Whatever the value is present, whatever the value is occur in the gpio, that value is set for the gpio dot bcm. Okay, for gpio.bcm we are putting we are set that number, channel number to the gpio.bcm from gpio. Okay, don't confuse here. It is nothing but a gpio is a channel number, right? So that channel number is setting to the gpio.bcm, that's it. Okay, this number is transferring to this bcm. This is nothing but setting, right? Okay, next, define a pin as output. For I told you, right, some pin. So for example here, led pin, led pin. Okay, here led pin is 18 we are taking. This is an example, not the just how the basics of gpio we can install and all process. Okay, led pin equals to 18 we are taking. Okay, next, gpio setup led pin comma gpio dot out. We are setuping that led pin is for gpio dot out. Okay, gpio setup is completed. Next, here we are using led, right? So led is having two options, on led, off led. Please listen carefully. We are using led, right? We are taking example of led here. The actual process is different, but gpio basics I am talking. So for that we need to take one example. So that is why we are taking led is an example for the basics of gpio. So we have two options in led, turn on led and turn off the led. So in each stage, how we are turn oning and turn off the offing the led, we can choose. Okay, next, see here, turn on led. First, how we can turn on gpio dot output. In just before we saw that setup, right? Setup is for setting that LED pin to the GPIO.out. So here what is we are doing? Output we are doing. So LED pin, whatever the value we got, that is transferred to the GPIO.high. High is a high and low. Whenever the turn on the light, whenever on the light of LED, then it is high. Don't forget. Okay, it is important. Like we are oning the light means high. We are offing the light means low. That's it. Nothing more than that. Okay. GPIO.output LED pin GPIO high. So whenever it is high, it will become high, then automatically it will go and check the condition, and it will on the light LED. Okay, on the LED. Next, turn off the light. Same GPIO.output LED pin comma GPIO.low. Low means it will go to the offing the LED. That's it. Next, remember, always refer to the Raspberry Pi documentation for specific pin layout and numbering for your model. So in order to get some number, I told you, right, LED pin. So for that pin we have to use the Raspberry Pi documentation. Why? Because if you do all the process is correct, but here you have to take so much of time in practically. Okay, to generate a pin means it is very difficult, so much of time. It maybe take 2-3 days also in some cases. If not getting correct, then 2-3 days is also through 2-3 days also. If continuously we are trying, then also we are not able to get some pin. Okay, for that we have some specific rules are there. Okay, that those all we no need that much. Just we need to specific layout and numbering for your model. Okay, this is nothing but the Raspberry Pi documentation. First of all, what we have to do, we have the topic is external gadgets. Here we are using LED. Okay, external gadget we are using LED. So how to set up a pin for output and all we will see. Setting up output pins, GPIO dot setup. This is nothing but the GPIO only, not LED. We will discuss LED next stage. Okay, GPIO dot setup, pin number GPIO dot out. What we are setting, that pin number is going to set to the GPIO dot out. Whatever the output we have, like LED on, LED off, we have two types, right? So for those we are entering the pin number as we are setting that pin number to the GPIO dot out. Okay, next, pin number, BCM pin number, we know that. Okay, GPIO dot out is nothing but specifies the pin as output. We know that. What is GPIO dot out, what is mean by pin number and all we discussed, right? So these are the explanation. Here we are using the external gadget we are using. In this example we are using LED as the external gadget. Okay, there are so many external gadgets are there, sensors and resistors up, resistor down, and fan, moisturizer calculation from the soil. There are so many external devices are there, but we are using LED here. So that why? Because just before we did some code for the LED gadget, right? So it is easy for understanding because continuously we are doing, right? So we are using LED, blinking and LED time sleep. So blinking means on off, right? So that is nothing but the blinking. So LED is going to blinking means one time on and one time off, right? So how the process is going to start the blinking of a LED? First of all, before start the LED program, we have to substitute and we have to import the GPIO basics. Again, here also in every example we have to initialize the GPIO setup, but for LED same as previous. See here, this already discussed, right? One second, see here, basic step. See, up to here we have to take. This is all about the basic steps of installation of GPIO basics. Okay, so you have to write from import to GPIO.bcm. Okay, this you after this importing is successfully done, then we have to take the blinking of LED as the example, and we have to run that program so that you can easily understand and identify the blinking of LED. Okay, first you have to write, or you have to implement this code. Okay, import RPI, this all I discussed right just before. So you have to import, write this code first, and after that only, after the successful installation, we have to move forward. Okay, after that code, this is the example. First you have to write that code. Next, import time limit we are using. Why? Because how much time we are the light would be blinking, like oning, and how much time the light would be off, how much time the light would be on and off. So by using that time, we are using blinking of an LED. While true, by default we are using true. Why? Because it is we are taking the boolean value. So whenever true is there, then high, automatically high, that means what, on in the what we can say, on the LED. Okay, on the LED in time sleep of 1 second. Okay, 1 second it will on, and another second it will off. That for that, GPIO dot output LED pin comma GPIO dot low. Okay, GPIO dot low is becomes whenever the LED pin is set to the output of GPIO dot low. Next, time sleep is 1. Time sleep is 1 means 1 second the LED is going to off. This is how the process of Python programming with Raspberry Pi with focus on interfacing external gadgets. LED is blinking is the one of the example for the external gadget programming Python with Raspberry Pi. This is all about that topic, and next we will discuss last and final topic, reading input from pins. So we are whatever the values we are giving to the Raspberry Pi to some calculations, by using pins only we are adding, well, we are giving inputs, right? So that is nothing but the reading input from pins. It is going to read some pins by using Raspberry Pi. Okay, inputs from pins, we are adding some pin to the Raspberry Pi means it is going to take some value. If you if you are not adding to the pin to the Raspberry Pi, then it is not taking the value, right? So how that is how the reading process of input from pins in Raspberry Pi. Okay, setting up input pins. How we are setting the input pins? Purpose: configure a GPIO pins to receive signals. So why we are using this reading inputs? What is the setup of input pins? The whole object or purpose is configure a GPI to receive signals. We are taking signals, right? I told you, right? We are connecting wires to the Raspberry Pi, so that by using that wires, we are putting some what we can say, pins to that GPIO, right? GPIO pin. Why? Because we are receiving the Raspberry Pi receiving signals. Okay, we are adding some wire to wire connection, then it is nothing but taking 1. Otherwise, if you are not adding, then 0, like that it will read the input from pins only. Okay, next, what is the function? You are using pin number to the GPIO dot in. Okay, we are setting this number to the input. Whatever the pin you are using, that pin number is set to the GPIO dot in. That is nothing but the GPIO setup. What is this? Is a function, right? So just we are input right, so that's why we are using GPIO dot in. That's it. Okay, next, pin number. What is the pin number? The physical or BCM pin number. We discussed, right, already. What is the BCM pin number? It is located in our mobile some after downloading some application. So while implementing in practically, you should know that what is BCM number, what is the application, what is the operating system we are using. This all we know. Okay, that is nothing but the pin number. Next, GPIO dot in is nothing but the input. It is specifies the input. Okay, next, here also we discussed, right? GPIO dot in is nothing but input. Whatever the value we are giving to Raspberry Pi, that by using that inputs, it will assumes and it will convert to the input, reading input. Okay, next example we will see. Okay, import raspberrypi.gpio as gpio. So I already told that what is this, because we are unable every time we are using raspberrypi.gpio, instead of this we are using just gpio, that is nothing but the alias. Okay, next button pin equals to some number 23 he taken. Okay, this is not random number. Okay, this is particular number for particular device. Okay, that is fixed. Okay, next gpio dot setup button pin is going to enter into the gpio dot in. Okay, whatever the button pin, here we are using 23, right? 23 is going to set the gpio dot in, that is nothing but the reading input, right? Next, reading button press. So whenever we are pressing some button, that is nothing but it is the Raspberry Pi is going to read that process, and it will enter and it will read that whole whatever the value we are sharing, that all the process is taking and reading that value. That is nothing but the basic reading of button press. We are entering we are pressing some button, means it is understand to the Raspberry Pi that it have some specific value. So whenever we press what we can say, whenever we press this button, it will generate the reading value and it will generate some reading input. Okay, that is nothing but the basic reading button press, basic reading of reading button press. Use gpio.input pin number to read the pin state, high or low. Okay, but for LED we have high and low, right? So same like here also, reading input is in high or low. Example, button state equals to gpio dot input button input. We are using input, mean in Python also we are using input is nothing but we are taking some value from the user. Okay, directly. If you use in Java, what is the scanner class you are using, right? For a user directly is giving in the runtime error. So here we are using directly input is, if you use input keyword, then is directly taking the it is ready for taking the value from user. That is nothing but the gpio dot input button number the user want to give, and if button state equals to gpio high, then it will print the button pressed. Whenever this button state and gpio high is equal, then it will print the button pressed. That's it. This is all about the unit 4. Thank you for watching the video. Don't forget to like, share to your friends and subscribe. Thank you.